settling in and, sensing the weight of the body. And just, how you are right now, what you're bringing, how is your mind? And, allow your mind to drop into the heart. How you feel emotionally right now. The heart dropping into the body. And the body dropping into the planet, to the earth. And sensing the weight on the cushion, on the chair where you're sitting. And just arriving here. Well, still some people are coming. Some are new, some are regulars. Taking this hour out of your day to connect more with yourself, and through that connecting deeper with the earth, who really needs our attention now. Hello, Cheryl. Lovely to see you. Last week, I have been speaking about metta and the power of metta, and that in the scriptures it's spoken about, that practicing metta for even the short time span it takes to pull a cow's udder, as it says in the scriptures, is something worthwhile practicing. And that's a really short moment, I'd say. So that tells us a lot about the importance of that practice. And the week before spoke about impermanence, and there's also in the scriptures written, this is the most important practice we can cultivate, even for the moment of a finger snap. So those two practices seem to be, the foremost practices to cultivate. And even for a moment, even for a moment, even for a moment, and the repetition of that. And then last time I shared this beautiful poem by Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh, which is a combination of both of those practices. And I'd like to share it again because it so fits 100% for our intention here. So he says, exquisite the rose on her way to the compost. So the rose being, an image for the Brahmavihara of metta, and the compost is an image for impermanence. Fertile the compost on its way to the rose. Wheeling my bearer of dung, impermanence greets me in beauty. So, that way of looking at our lives, everything which we maybe don't really like that much we can call that the compost. And the things we really love, we call those things the rows. And they are not separate. Without compost, there's no rows, and without rows, there would be no compost. And how they are working together, and even, on a superficial glance, they look like polar opposites. They have nothing to do with each other. But then if we drop deeper, we start to understand, maybe not so much with the thinking mind, but with the heart and with the body. We know intuitively they are part of one process. And this kind of understanding is, number one, it's liberating us from likes and dislikes if we really practice that, and liberates us from ignorance because of that, and from desire and aversion. And also it gives us more and more access to the way things truly are in terms of our relationship to the planet, which we have gotten so estranged from over the centuries because of the way, how our civilizations have developed under the influence of ignorance. And how could it be otherwise, of course? So, today I brought a reading by the Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh, which is called, the text is called Falling in Love with the Earth. So, let us settle in first. And just, coming to our senses in the true meaning of the word, which means, allowing your nervous system to guide you. And we're just starting by allowing the breath to take us into the body. And sensing the weight, the gravity which gently pulls us towards the soil, the earth underneath where we are sitting. And with the out breath, relaxing down into the ground without any pressure. Letting go of any worries or stress or doubts. And with the in-breath, breathing up the stability and the silence, the power of the earth, the presence. And not pushing for anything in particular, just allowing that to be what it is. If there's a sense of numbness, then that's what it is. If you can have a sense of presence, then that's what it is. We always need to start where we are. So with the in-breath, breathing up the stability and the strength and the power and the stillness of the earth. And with the out-breath, gently putting down some roots. And knowing we are doing that together as a little community, as a collective vessel of bringing in a new way of perceiving our situation on the planet, and using the body as a plug-in into the planet, because that's what it is. And once we are looking at the body in this different way, it reveals this to us. Because it always depends from which viewpoint we are looking. The way we are looking is part of what we are seeing. It determines what we see. And these meetings here are all about, cultivating a different way of looking. A way of looking which supports the realization that the body and the planet are of one process. And then we can use like encouragement, to allow that to be deeper and deeper experienced. And also doing it together as a group makes a huge difference. It's like, opening the mind and the heart. And allowing more information to enter. And, allowing ourselves to be changed by that. Certain perceptions, certain, conditionings, they just get cleared out through reality check. And that's not something we can force, but it's something we can cultivate. And the Brahmaviharas, the Metta and Karuna, Mudita and Upekkha, those 4 practices, and the perception of impermanence are both, these two practices are the bedrock of any insight into reality. The Brahma Viharas, open the mind and soften the mind. And the perception of impermanence is clearing out ignorance. And they need to work together. First, we need to make some space for information to land, and then allowing that information to change us. Opening up more and more to the way things truly are. So now I'm going to start with the text by the Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh. Just ringing the bell first. And the text is falling in love with the earth. This beautiful, boundless, life-giving planet we call Earth has given birth to each one of us. And each one of us carries the earth within every cell of our body. We and the earth are one. The earth is our mother, nourishing and protecting us in every moment, giving us air to breathe, fresh water to drink, food to eat, and healing herbs to cure us when we are sick. Every breath we inhale contains our planet's nitrogen, oxygen, water vapor, and trace elements. When we breathe with mindfulness, we can experience our interbeing with the Earth's delicate atmosphere, with all the plants, and even with the sun, whose light makes possible the miracle of photosynthesis. With every breath, we can experience communion. With every breath, we can savor the wonders of life. We need to change our way of thinking and seeing things. We need to realize that the earth is not just our environment. The earth is not something outside of us. breathing with mindfulness and contemplating your body, you realize that you are the earth. You realize that your consciousness is also the consciousness of the earth. Look around you. What you see is not your environment, it is you. And just allowing all of this to just sink into the body. And whatever, how the body responds by hearing this. It's an attunement practice. And maybe can sense a certain discomfort also as this sinks in. That's part of the process of attuning. As the certain cultural norms and narratives are challenged by what we hear. Great Mother Earth. Whatever nationality or culture we belong to, whatever religion we follow, whether we are Buddhists, Christians, Muslims, Jews, or atheists, we can all see that the earth is not inert matter. She is a great being who has herself given birth to many other great beings, including Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, prophets and saints, sons and daughters of God and humankind. The earth is a loving mother, nurturing and protecting all peoples and all species without discrimination. When you realize the earth is so much more than simply your environment, you be moved to protect her in the same way as you would yourself. This is the kind of awareness, the kind of awakening that we need. And the future of the planet depends on whether we are able to cultivate this insight or not. The Earth and all species on Earth are in real danger. Yet, if we can develop a deep relationship with the Earth, we'll have enough love, strength, and awakening in order to change our way of life. Yet, if we can develop a deep relationship with the Earth, we'll have enough love, strength, and awakening in order to change our way of life. Just noticing, what comes up when we hear this. The intimacy with our own, mind states and emotions is the same intimacy which we have in relationship to the earth. So first, we need to build that relationship of intimacy with ourselves, and then that translates into a relationship of intimacy with the earth as well. It's not separate. Falling in love. We can all experience a feeling of deep admiration and love when we see the great harmony, elegance, and beauty of the earth. A simple branch of cherry blossom, the shell of a snail, or the wing of a bat all bear witness to the Earth's masterful creativity. Every advance in our scientific understanding deepens our admiration and love for this wondrous planet. We can truly see and understand the Earth. When we can truly see and understand the Earth, love is born in our hearts. We feel connected. That is the meaning of love, to be at one. Only when we have truly fallen back in love with the Earth will our actions spring from reverence and the insight of our interconnectedness. Yet, many of us have become alienated from the Earth. We are lost, isolated and lonely. We work too hard, our lives are too busy, and we are restless and distracted, losing ourselves in consumption. But the Earth is always there for us, offering us everything we need for our nourishment and healing. The miraculous grain of corn, the refreshing stream, the fragrant forest, the majestic snow-capped mountain peak, and the joyful bird song at dawn. Just receiving that like a rain coming down onto the ground of our bodies, landing in our minds and then in our bodies as well. And breathing through everything, what is responding in the body, taking it deeper. True happiness is made of love. Many of us think we need more money, more power, or more status before we can be happy. We are so busy spending our lives chasing after money, power and status that we ignore all the conditions for happiness already available. At the same time, we lose ourselves in buying and consuming things we don't need, putting a heavy strain on both our bodies and the planet. Yet much of what we drink, eat, watch, read or listen to is toxic, polluting our bodies and minds with violence, anger, fear and despair. As well as the carbon dioxide pollution of our physical environment, we can speak of the spiritual pollution of our human environment, the toxic and destructive atmosphere we are creating with our way of consuming. We need to consume in such a way that truly sustains our peace and happiness. Only when we are sustainable as humans will our civilization become sustainable. It is possible to be happy in the here and the now. We don't need to consume a lot to be happy. In fact, we can live very simply. With mindfulness, any moment can become a happy moment. Savoring one simple breath, taking a moment to stop and contemplate the bright blue sky, or to fully enjoy the presence of a loved one, can be more than enough to make us happy. Each one of us needs to come back to reconnect with ourselves, with our loved ones, and with the earth. It's not money, power, or consuming that can make us happy, but having love and understanding in our heart. And then noticing if any doubt comes up as you hear these words, and just allowing it to be there, breathing into it. The bread in your hand is the body of the cosmos. We need to consume in such a way that keeps our compassion alive. And yet, many of us consume in a way that is very violent. Forests are cut down to raise cattle for beef or to grow grain for liquor, while millions in the world are dying of starvation. Reducing the amount of meat we eat and alcohol we consume by 50% is a true act of love for ourselves, for the earth, and for one another. Reducing the amount of meat we eat and alcohol we consume by 50% is a true act of love for ourselves, for the earth, and for one another. Eating with compassion can already help transform the situation our planet is facing and restore balance to ourselves and the earth. So when I hear that, I find that extremely hopeful. It's very doable. Nothing is more important than brotherhood and sisterhood. There's a revolution that needs to happen, and it starts from inside each one of us. We need to wake up and fall in love with Earth. We have been Homo sapiens for a long time. Now it's time to become Homo conscious. Our love and admiration for the Earth has the power to unite us and remove all boundaries, separation, and discrimination. We have been Homo sapiens for a long time. Now it's time to become Homo conscious. Our love and admiration for the Earth has the power to unite us and remove all boundaries, separation, and discrimination. Centuries of individualism and competition have brought about tremendous destruction and alienation. We need to re-establish true communication, true communion with ourselves, with the earth, and with one another as children of the same mother. We need more than new technology to protect the planet. We need real community and cooperation. All civilizations are impermanent and must come to an end one day. But if we continue on our current course, there's no doubt that our civilization will be destroyed sooner than we think. The Earth may need millions of years to heal, to retrieve her balance and restore her beauty. She will be able to recover, but we humans and many other species will disappear until the Earth can generate conditions to bring us forth again in new forms. Once we can accept the impermanence of our civilization with peace, we will be liberated from our fear. Only then will we have the strength, awakening and love we need to bring us together. Cherishing our precious Earth, falling in love with the Earth, is not an obligation. It is a matter of personal and collective happiness and survival. Falling in love with the Earth is not an obligation. It is a matter of personal and collective happiness and survival. So sensing in the body and allowing this all to sink in. This is what's so important, for us as Homo sapiens to start to really sense and feel more fully and not keep it at arm's length. And the word sapiens actually means, comes from the Latin word sapere, which means to taste. So, to take something in the mouth and taste, it's a very intimate form of relating, like a little kid, putting everything in the mouth in order to know what it is. So, we need to come closer to our experience so we know what it really is. And we need to do it together. We need to support each other. It's like an updating of our equipment, which we have, these bodies and minds. To more fully inhabit that equipment, which connects us fully back into the planet, because the body and the mind work together and the planet and the body are one process. The body is an organ of listening and perceiving. And suppression, of those feelings and sensations makes exploitation possible, as extraction, as racism, as all of the different forms of exploitation. coming more alive, coming more connected. And doing that together, that's, what needs to happen in order to support this update to happen, which the biosphere, the situation, with the climate is actually providing the pressure, which seems to be needed, for us to venture into new territory inside of ourselves. Having, capacities become more fully embodied because of there's a need. That's how evolution works. And aligning ourselves with that intelligence, the self-regulating intelligence of the biosphere, which is doing, the work of evolving these planets since billions of years. So now really opening to that. And, and sensing that urge to evolve, which, I think brings you here to this meeting. Even it mightn't be conscious, That's what it is. Consciously, taking the seat, with the ancestors behind us and future generations in front of us, and doing our bit by waking up to what's happening. That's a beautiful purpose to live for. Something much bigger than ourselves. And inviting in the blessings of the ancestors and future generations as we are waking up to this challenge. There's many, many different groups of people who are waking up together. And we are just part of a large network. Feeling the stretch, being okay with that. Breathing into the body, any tension, allowing it to just go down into the ground underneath us. We're creating a little bit more space, landing more fully where we are.